Well, here we go. Take two. It is earlier than I like. It's before coffee again. But I woke up and being somewhat mindful of what I had promised to do, I took a quick look inside and I really don't like what I see. For those that aren't aware of it, I decided last night along with my wife that we weren't going to get hold of the lawyers. Uh, and that I was not going to continue to fight with my neighbors, that we would simply build walls and slowly make our yard a little more soundproof. Now, Dennis said, don't build the walls, enjoy the music, but the fact is, folks, it's not music that these people are playing. They are drunks who like to hurt and intimidate people. Sometimes their gang has murdered. And they get to a point where it's just screeching. There's no music, there's no words. They just crank it up as loud as they can and screech into the microphone. Uh, Hard to tell the difference between them and a rooster or a cat. That's just what they do. Now, you say, yeah, but how loud can it be? Well, it can be loud enough that over here where we are in the Philippines, there is a fellow with a karaoke that is about 5 kilometers away in a straight line. And he woke up the whole community for months, turning his system up until the mayor forced him to shut it down. They really like loud music here. It's a form of proving their manhood or womanhood. Women get pregnant and screech into karaoke. Men get girls pregnant and, or at least males do. Girls pregnant and screech into a karaoke, and if they're drunk enough and they have enough support, they will attack people with bolos. That's the world we live in. But back to where I was. When I woke up this morning, I was really uncomfortable. I was being mindful, that's a fancy word, isn't it, for how I felt, and I really felt bad. Tense, tight, my stomach was acidic. And I realized that it's exactly the same feeling that I get when I quit smoking or temporarily quit inhaling. You see, I'm an alcoholic, and when it gets really bad and I want to start drinking again, I start smoking again. It's better to smoke a package or two of cigarettes over a week than a whole bunch of whiskey or gin or beer. And then I quit again. But it was the same feeling in my stomach. And it led me to the understanding that I'm addicted to fighting these people. Yeah. Uh, Seems that the Dalai Lama was right, as were the other teachers that I have read. The seeds that you water are the seeds that will take over your garden. And I have become addicted. I have a need, emotional, possibly physical, to fight with my neighbors. That's not a good deal. And starting today, I'm going to work on that. I will see what I can do about it. Now my throat's getting a little, so if you'll excuse me, it's time for a slurp. And yes, I'm addicted to coffee too. I am not breaking that addiction, by the way. Uh, but it was quite a shock this morning to realize that I was addicted to arguing with people that are what they are. So it's not just I have to learn to be friendly to them. I have to break an addiction of, is it hatred? Certainly anger. Uh, whatever the actual label for this addiction is, all I know is it's wrong and it's bad and it's got to be broken. Which brings me to part 2 of this Applied Buddhism 101 Lesson 3 teaching. It's time to call in the Sangha, if that's how it's pronounced. I find great help in taking refuge. Now, it is looked upon different ways by different people, and I'm not saying that I've got the right way. But it sort of came to focus for me when I read in a book that Kuan Yin was not a miracle worker. Kuan Yin was someone that would help you be the best you could be. Like a good friend or a lover. And the more I thought about that, the more I liked it. I have trouble with a God in the heavens who can snap his fingers and change the reality of the world, because if that God is there, then it's a very sadistic God, because there's a lot of finger snapping that hasn't gotten done. But if the Sangha is composed of beings who can help but who cannot change the circumstances miraculously, it makes sense to me. As support staff, I guess would be one way to think of the Sangha. And I take refuge in them. More so today because I realize I need help with my addiction. They won't snap their fingers and the addiction goes away. That's not going to happen. But when I find myself caving in, I might feel a hand on my shoulder that says, you don't have to give in, Brian. You can fight this. At least I hope so. It is, maybe a weakness on my part. I'm sure there's many a person that would say, how weak can you be to need that superstitious malarkey? More coffee time. Well, maybe I am weak, and maybe it is superstitious malarkey. But I know for a fact that my friends help me. They do. They don't have to be here to help me. I just sort of got to remember that they're there, and I want to be better. Nothing miraculous happened last night with my wife, but when I saw that I had disturbed her, hurt her, I wanted to do better. And after, must be 30 years of exploring Buddhism and the spirit world and mystical Christianity and Judaism, native red path, the path of the sweat lodge, I have no doubt that there are worlds unseen and beings that can not be seen by human eyes. At least not these human eyes. Possibly this one, but not these ones usually. Although on occasion I have seen with my regular eyes parts of the spirit world. That's not bragging. It's not something I could control or bring back. It just happened. Not often, but when I needed it. So I've gone to take refuge in the Sangha to help me with this addiction. And I suppose the teaching, the lesson, as it were, for Applied Buddhism 101, Lesson 3, is, do you ever go to the Sangha for refuge, guidance, and inspiration? Or do you just say the words? It's easy to say the words. I'm not condemning, I'm just asking. How do you feel about it? Is it real? Does it help you? I'll let you know later on how it helps me. I think it will help me beat this addiction. And I must say that it doesn't matter if it's real or not. If it helps me, I'm happy. And it hurts nobody else. So that's how I feel this morning. I feel better for expressing it also. Cathartic, I suppose, would be the psychological term. Catharsis has happened because I applied a cathartic technique. I don't know. In any case, folks, I need some breakfast and I need to post this. So take care, walk your path, and remember you're loved. Bye-bye.